Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and I have my buddy Greg Steele on today. Say hi, Greg.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
So I'm doing well. I am back at work in full stride, and I can see better. It's good to. It feels good to go back to work, but it's also. I mentioned to Treadaway. It's almost like going. Sure, I'll hop in the cage with this MMA fighter. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been working like right away. You were back on the horse, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they sent you places, and you worked hard right off the get-go.
Yeah. The first week, I think it was like 52 hours, and then the second week it was more like 68 hours. So yeah, it was welcome to back to work.
68 hours in a week?
Yeah.
That's
Um,
hardcore.
so it's fun with stuff with that.
68 hours, that's crazy.
Who doesn't love that? I have a little bit of joy in knowing that every day that I leave work, I get to see the construction of the Buc-ee's being built as I get onto the
I
on
know
ramp
it.
heading south.
Oh, I know it. Buc-ee's is so glorious. I mean, it's like the one thing they haven't installed that they need to install is like when you walk in the doors and they slide open, like there should be light and like angelic voices and stuff. You know what I mean? Because
I used to take Jacob with me to Lowe's to go pick out stuff, and I said, "You hear that?" He's like, "Hear what?" I said, "The Christmas music." He's like, "There's no Christmas music." I go, "There is in my head," and I got the buggy, and I'm like, "Ha da 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 da."
It's like security comes over. It's like, "Excuse me, sir.
You're having too much fun in here.
Didn't we tell you last time that you can't come in?"
Of course, I also feel the same way about going on Amazon and hitting that buy now button. I'm like,
I think here's the real thing. What happens with Buc-ee's over and over and over again is that people you try to tell people about Buc-ee's, and then they're like, "It's just a convenience store," and you're like, "But it's not just a convenience store." And you're trying to tell them, but they don't understand until they go, right? And then they're like, "Holy crap, that's a great place!"
Right.
Right?
Well, we were eating the seasoning that you brought us, the steak seasoning that we use as the grill. Okay, so the barbecue sauce I'd kind of sat aside, and I was like, I mean, we got barbecue sauces, we'll get to it. Well, this past weekend I decided to try a poor man's burnt ends, and the chuck roast, and cooked it, and I even bought some pink butcher paper to wrap it up in because I watched this one guy's video on YouTube, and I was like, oh, that looks great, I'm gonna do that. So
yeah, I listened to the cast.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna go check that guy's website out.
Yeah, I was super excited about that. And then, once it finally came out and I mixed up the Buc-ee's with the brown sugar and went to cook it, oh man, it added so much to it. I was like, dude. So I had some of that tonight with my chicken. I grilled some chicken and had a salad, and I was like, I got some Buc-ee's sauce in here. So looks like we got Mr. Josh Treadaway actually joining us now, the late bloomer.
No way.
I was thinking that either he was hit by a train or at work, or I mean, he does work at Myrtle Beach. I mean, he could have been abducted by a meth head. You never know.
Yeah, I think the chances of him getting hit by a train are pretty low, but the meth head thing, I'm down with that.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
It sort of comes with the territory. I mean, there's lots of people coming into the area. You don't know what's going on, and suddenly you're abducted by someone with 3 teeth. But she's good people. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I decided that I'm really attracted to chicks who have like these big wounds on their forehead. So it's ideal for me.
It sort of lets you know that they have a cool past that they can talk about. They're not going to be boring. No, and plus, they're going to be down for everything, right? Oh, look, there they are. Hey!
Oh, my goodness. What is up?
You
How about that?
People.
Oh, my God. Wow.
More. So don't talk about my teeth like that.
Oh, wow.
What?
Huh?
What?
We have a 3 teeth thing and good people. Like,
oh,
you can hear that, huh?
Your video is weird. Turn your thing this way.
I'm trying. Hold on. Is that better?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I can see you.
That's better.
Hey. How are you, man?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
We're doing good. Yeah, chilling. We decided
to interrupt the conversation. I was trying to see if I could get Zoom on my phone, and it jumped me into the conversation. I'm like, hey, how you doing?
It actually looks good and sounds good. I'm pretty amazed.
Yeah.
So you guys, you out on the back porch, or where you at?
Well, actually, we're at my new job.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sweet.
They have these little. Actually, here, let me give you a quick little. Here, you know what that. So we are hanging out. I'm gonna turn it around.
Okay.
We have these little swings.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
All right, and then over here, there's like some fire pits.
Yeah.
And then there's a pool area over here.
Ah.
And there's like a little grassy area where they do like live music. Hey, Greg, I can try to see if I can book you guys over here.
Yeah, man, we'll come down. Yeah, we'll come, man. We're not scared.
Right over here is the Carolina Commons. Is actually the restaurant and the bar that I work at.
Very nice. It's a very nice looking place.
It is, yeah. Heck,
it really is amazing. Like I was really impressed whenever I came in. It's an RV park, but they've got like, and I wish I could show you. They have like really huge like hangout area, and we're just chilling over here on the swings and chilling out.
I like how he sort of has the man of the town kind of look, like he's Dave Balzerian or something. And he's like, and this is just the chick I'm with right now, but the other ones are in the pool. That's fine. They're all wrestling,
Wow.
Anywho, so no, I was just, Greg and I were talking about the using the Buc-ee's stuff for the poor man's burnt ends this past weekend. And the fact that when I got off of work today, I was noticing that every time I get on the interstate to head south, I have to pass by where they're building a giant one. And I'm like, soon it's going to be here.
Yeah. It's like if you needed proof God loves you. You just go to Buc-ee's. You go to Buc-ee's.
They're building Buc-ee's in Florence, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, we're booking, I'm booking a trip to go down to Albany, Georgia. And I know that you said that you were probably in as well.
Well, I said I would be in as best I could. By that time, I should have my my PTO built in, so I should have time to take time off.
The real question is, where are you going to sleep once we get there? Because I'm already claiming the bedroom.
Well, so just a piece of information. The room that I'm currently in, I just got a new computer desk in here, and I'm about to get the PA out of here, and I'm going to put another place to sleep in this room.
Oh.
So we'll have to.
I saw you were selling your desk, Greg.
Man, that thing. So I was like, I'm never gonna sell this desk. It sold in like 20 minutes. Like someone was at my house in 20 minutes.
That thing was humongous. It looked like it took up a quarter of your room.
It did. It was huge. Yeah.
It was a huge desk. I couldn't believe you sold that in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that dude. It's like, can I come now? I'm like, yeah, come on. I mean, he's like, I want it right now. I'm like, okay, come on.
Did you have to deconstruct it to get it out the door?
I did.
Oh wow.
I did. It was. It was
huge. I mean,
it breaks down.
That was like a big business desk kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked for that desk forever. Like I wanted very specific things in a desk, and it took me 2 years to find that desk. So the fact that I sold it is surprising, but it was so humongous. I was like, I need some more room.
It kind of looks like the thing you'd buy from IKEA where they go, welcome to hell. Here is your Allen wrench. You're like, wait.
It's like, I heard you had 53 extra hours. Yeah.
You think you have arthritis now? Wait till you turn this 5,000 times per screw. Yeah.
Well, listen, the new desk I bought was also a challenge to put together because it was like, I found the desk on 2 sites. Look at this. Yeah, there you go, baby. I found the desk.
I'm having water, so
yeah. I'm having.
I would join you if I'm not going to work.
Peak loves so much. Bubbly.
Oh, the nastiness.
Like,
I think bubbly actually makes your soul leave a little bit.
Again, Greg?
No, it's that Bublé.
It's bubbly this time.
Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
It's the Michael Bublé.
Yeah. Hey, they dropped some of that stuff with caffeine in it, man. That stuff is delicious.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
It's almost like they kept water in a room with a fan and they put a grape in front of it and they went, here you go. And that's the flavor,
I think what happens is Dennis Rodman chews a grape and spits in it. I think that's what happens. Something like that. That's why I haven't seen Dennis
did that,
Rodman.
doesn't it also like maybe give you a disease or prevent you from a disease? I don't know. It just depends on which side of the mouth he spits it in.
Yeah. I've really been wanting to wear a dress lately. I don't know why, but I think I figured it out.
Did you know that when Rodney came to visit me and we went on Rodeo Drive was when he was doing that? We looked over and saw him standing in the wedding dress. I was like, holy crap, is that Dennis Rodman? He just towered over everybody. It was like him and Carrot Top were my 2 celebrity sightings while I was there because Rodney was like, where do you want to go? I said, I've never been to Rodeo Drive. He goes, let's go. And that's where I asked him if he was gay. Sorry. It was,
Well, that
Well,
definitely sounds like a Rodney thing, by the way.
but it was just like, he was like, it's not a big deal, but I can drive you down there so you can see it. And I was like, cool. And it just happened to be that day.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rodney, did either of you see the picture when they were in California for his niece's confirmation? And he was standing beside his dad. And I told Chris, I'm like, he looks just like his dad.
Yes, he does.
I didn't see his picture. I saw the ones that his dad posted, but I didn't see him in the picture. I must have missed that.
Yeah, there was one with like the whole family. It was like Jay and his wife and the kids, and it was Rodney and his parents.
They look just like.
Yeah, Rodney and his dad look exactly like, that's what Rodney's gonna look like in like 20 years.
Yeah, that's very possible.
I want to get Rodney near a dog because no one likes to have their leg humped more than Rodney. It's like a magnet. Like a dog gets within 480 yards of him, and it's just like, it's amazing. I don't know how he does it. He has an attractant.
I have a lot of jokes that I don't want to say, but yeah.
By the way, real quickly, and I'm probably gonna get off here because we're gonna get something to eat, but I'm glad to jump on for a moment. But Greg, have you followed, because we were talking about it before that? You see how Dogecoin jumped big time?
Yeah, well, everything jumped big time. So like Bitcoin dropped 10 grand, and then Bitcoin went up 5 grand, and everything else went up. And Ethereum is nuts, man. Ethereum never went down. It's up to like 2,700, like the highest it's ever been. Ethereum's been going crazy. But yeah, I know it. It's something else.
So I think it might be time for us to start thinking about actually doing the melon coin.
You're probably right.
I started looking
like
at those
$20.
images that we were sharing back and forth, and the one of Rodney and the prince's, like the
that was amazing.
his wedding outfit. I was like, that looks like royalty enough that people would be like, this looks
like
legit.
Yeah,
that looks like a coin we could do, and he's our king, man.
All hail the king.
We could sell it as like the official coin of the Saudi royal family.
Listen, I seriously thought that G Money was going to be the hit. I thought you were going to be like, oh, why didn't we think of that?
G Money.
G Money would be the front side, and then it'd be the king on the back side.
You could, you could do a G with the dollar sign next to it on one side, or like do one like the White Sox, where they blend them all together, and on the other side you got the king.
I'm telling you, like it costs like $20 to make your own crypto coin. We can make it.
Sure.
Even if nothing ever happened. Like that guy that made Dogecoin just made it for a joke, right?
Yeah. Now I have to ask you a quick question, Greg, and this is actually probably going to be my advice, and then we got to go. Yeah. So I have a guy who I met here at the park about a few weeks ago. We've become kind of friends. Maybe he's mafia. I don't know, maybe. Sure. But anyway, he said that you can actually see the people's wallets. And he said that the number one wallet on Dogecoin, it doesn't have a name, but every single time that Tesla needs like some like money, there's a big giant like withdrawal from wallet one. He seems to think that Elon Musk created Dogecoin.
Maybe, yeah, maybe so. Yeah. Did you get some Dogecoin? You have some? Well, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I know that. I mean, the weird thing about it is that like there's absolutely no predicting it at all whatsoever, any of it. Like it's so ridiculous. Like I bought a coin called Curve, and Curve is so volatile that like as you're watching the screen to decide to buy it, and you'll try to buy it, it'll say, "Oops, you can't buy it. The price changed." Like it changes like every 11 seconds. And so I bought some, and I've been up and I've been down, and I mean, like literally. It was up to like one of its highest points at like 1 p.m. on a day. And I was like, man, if I get home, I might sell it. And then by the time I got home at 5, it was back down to where it was. Like in 4 hours, it's just like this big roller coaster.
All right. So between you and Josh, have any of you or either of you bought any NFTs yet?
So I haven't bought any NFTs. I bought something called Yat. So no NFTs for me. But I did buy some Yats.
I have a friend who is making some NFTs because He's kind of a crazy artist guy, and he's pretty creative. And
is that the bartender?
yeah.
Yeah, your boy,
Danny.
what's his name? Danny.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by that at all, by the way.
When I contacted him about it, he goes, yeah, have you studied about it? I said, I'm learning. I said, but I'm trying to learn as much as possible, but I keep getting hit with these new things like NFTs. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm making some of those. And I was like, what? He goes, I'm making several. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you want to go in on with me? I said, absolutely. So then I found the thing that was the Bit Clout, and I hit him up about Bit Clout, and he goes, all right, my head's just exploding now. And I was like, I know. And then Greg immediately texted me and says, have you heard of Yat? I was like, that's it. I'm out.
Well, like Greg and I had a conversation about a week or two ago, and I told him I had a day off, and I was going down a rabbit hole, and it got really ugly because I mean, like that rabbit hole was like just it's long.
Yeah, it never ends. Really it never ends. Yeah, it never ends. Look at so like. I don't know if you know what a Yat is, but it's kind of interesting. And my brother, my brother's into all this stuff, right? So
right. Well, your brother knows all about the Bitcoin and all that. Yeah.
Oh, he knows all about So he's the one who got me into the Yats. So basically, what a Yat is it's a string of emojis, and so you buy.
Oh, I heard about this. Yes, I heard about this.
You buy a string of emojis, and that's your string of emojis, and you can.
And then if someone ever uses it, you make money off of it.
Well, really though, it's like you use it to identify yourself online, and you basically, I have a Yat. I can actually take that Yat and I can make it do whatever I want. So I can make it so that if I post online that's my signature, and you click on that signature, I can make it go to a website. I can make it go to a PayPal to pay me. I can make it like that. And supposedly,
it's like an online signature.
Yeah.
Right. And supposedly, if you own that Yat. If you own that Yat, you own that Yat. Like that is yours. And so I bought about 10 of them. And I'm just holding on to them.
It's like owning domain websites back in the day.
Yeah.
Right. It's like that. I mean, I bought 10 of them, and I mean, basically, I'm just holding on to them because if they get popular, someone will so when you go on to the Yat site, there's about 400. Yes. Oh boy, my dog has a snake.
Oh, cool.
What?
My dog has a snake.
Your dog has a snake?
Correct.
That's awesome. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Hey, stay around till I can get the snake problem fixed. I'll be back.
Okay, well, I've actually got to go as well. So, but we'll hang on till Greg. We'll hang on till Greg comes back, but then we got to go too because we got to get something to eat.
This may be the first podcast that's interrupted by a snake. So, I mean, there's probably one in India where they're
because we have snakes in our yard all the damn time.
But it doesn't interrupt a podcast. Like this is a new thing. This is pretty cool.
Never say never.
So, Mr. Peak, how are things going with you? How's the eyesight, brother?
It's good. I am not doing the contact lens.
You did not do the contact lens? Okay.
No, they told me I didn't actually have to do it unless I was like a fighter pilot or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, is it going to affect the way it heals? And they said no. And I said, I'm not doing it. I said, I'm just going to be honest with you. And he goes, okay. So I'm not doing it.
We talked about that. We talked about that when it first happened because you're like, I don't put things in my eye. I can't even stand putting like drops in my eye.
Yeah. So I'm back at work. Everything's fine. I'm able to drive. I'm able to see. Seeing
how things go in Columbia. How did things go in Columbia last week?
It was okay. A lot of hours, 68 hours. So
yeah, we're going to our world.
I'm going to. We're supposed to paint our bedroom this weekend, and then after that, we only have two rooms left. This one and the laundry room. And after that, the entire house has been repainted.
How's Doris?
She's good. She started a new job at Nucor Steel. It's an entry-level data entry kind of job.
Yeah.
She doesn't like it right now. It's a lot to learn, and it's really hard. And they have a new computer program that's not easy. Yeah, but it's her foot in the door. I think it's going to turn into something more. So,
listen, you and I both know that she's destined for hire on that company. Yeah. And they hired her for future jobs, but she's got to do what she's doing right now.
Right. This is just a foot in the door, and if she can stick it out, I think it'll turn into something really great. So, Greg actually, when he did his podcast, do what?
Beginnings of any job is always the hardest because
Yeah.
it's like you don't think you can do it, but then once you go through it and you're like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
But at first, it's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Super fun. He's smart.
Yeah. I after listening to Greg's podcast that he did finally after, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months, whatever the hiatus was, he actually got me interested in looking at Roth IRAs, but and I'd never done that before. And I heard you and him talking about it, and I was like, I got to go down this rabbit hole and learn more about it.
We actually did talk about that, and I was actually wanting to talk to him more about it, based on the fact of, with a new job, I actually have a 401k opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, do we do a Roth RIA or the what's the other one? I can't remember.
Just your regular 401k.
Right, but the Roth RIA is really awesome because the taxes are going to go up most likely.
Yeah.
So money's going to be obsolete.
So you do the Roth RIA now, take the taxes out now at this level, and then when you go to retire, you don't have to pay any penalties or taxes whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I've really gone down the rabbit hole lately of that. Did you save the snake or did you save the dog?
I'm not sure it's gonna live. It was just a little garden snake, and he wasn't dead. But watch my new show. It's on A&E, like Snake Rescuer 911. Yeah, Tuesdays at 10.
Tuesdays at 10, he says.
Yeah, that's right.
You're asleep Tuesdays at 10, Greg.
I'm asleep every day at 10.
Yeah.
Unless we have a show. The only time I'm awake at 10 o'clock is if we have a show, and that's because I took a 3-hour nap.
He came here, and I kept him up by playing Animal Crossings, and he was like, what time is it? I said 11. He goes, we got to shut this off.
Yeah, that's it. It's over. Yeah, that's it.
Playtime is over.
Yeah.
Not to mention that.
All right. Well, hey, guys. Yeah. I thank you for allowing us to join in real quickly. We're going to go because we're going to get something to eat. It's good to see you guys.
Take care.
Good to see you, too. Take care, guys.
Everybody party as much as you can.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later. Take care.
Love you guys.
Good to see you.
Later.
Bye.
He's gonna hit a button now that makes him go away, but he's gonna be here.
Trying to, but it won't go away. There we go.
I can't turn it off. Oh my god!
Oh geez.
Still hear you. So if you don't mind, at the snake interruption, I'll just finish talking about the Yat real quick in case anyone oh look, he's back.
I'm gonna hit a button and remove him. How about that?
There you go. So anyway, I bought some of those because like once you buy them, then that one is yours supposedly.
Yep.
So they have about 400 different emojis, and you're making strings of emojis that are so like if you want one that's a single one, I mean those are selling for. I mean they're auctioning off like the ones and the twos for like 50 grand.
Jesus.
But if you get up to the 4, they're like $7. So they're not like ridiculously expensive or anything. So an example is that most of them that I got were like a sport. So like a baseball, and then a bee, like a honeybee, and then a crown, and then like a exclamation point. So it's something like baseball be king, right? Because I thought somebody would like baseball. So maybe if they ever got popular, someone would want to buy that one. So I just bought stuff like that and just kind of storing it. Now, my brother's bought a bunch of them because he just bought too many of them, and he's actually doing a Yat bracket tournament this weekend where he said he had like 50 people interested that are going to submit their favorite Yat, and they're going to have like a bracket style competition and pick a winner or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a great idea. It might drum up some interest. I don't know, but anyway, that's the kind of stuff he does. Hello, Mama. There's the Mama.
Hey, Mom. I have you on a podcast with Greg.
Hello.
Hi there, Greg.
Hey, how's it going?
You can't hear him because I got a headphone in my ear. But anyway, I just wanted to say I'm on the podcast with Greg, and I'll call you back as soon as I get off.
Okay.
Okay. Love you, Mom. I figured, hey, Bert can do it. I can do it.
Sure. Well, that's what I figured. Like, honestly, when I was outside, like catching the snake, I said the same thing. I'm like, well, Bert says real life podcasting is good, right?
That's right.
Leave to fix a snake. Yeah.
Listen, right. So a lot of this is just, real life, and it is entertaining. It is holy crap, I didn't know there'd be a snake in this podcast, stuff like that. Also, I didn't know two drunk people would call us in the middle of a podcast. That also was entertaining.
We expected Treadaway was going to call, so there was going to be at least one drunk person. We just got two.
Yeah. Okay. But that was a little different.
Yeah, right. We got, double.
I thought because we were talking this weekend about getting on and talking about the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I thought, oh, this is going to be cool. We can like go back and forth on our discussions about what we thought of it and what the episode was like, and sometimes you have plans and it falls apart. So
we'll get it another time, right?
You and I can do it though. I mean, I enjoyed watching the season. I know it was a very short season, but I thought they did a really good job of showing off how they're transitioning Anthony Mackie from being the Falcon to becoming Captain America. I mean, the story was done well. I did not like the John Walker character that became the U.S. agent. But like, I didn't know anything about U.S. agent. I didn't know that's who he's going to become. I really thought he was going to end up being a bad guy, because he was pretty angry about losing the shield to Sam. And I thought, man, this is going to be like one heck of a confrontation here at the end. And he has that moment where he gets to save people's lives. And he's like, it dawns on him, I'm not as angry as I am. I am really a good guy. Like he's just very emotional about what's going on. But he's like, I don't want these people to get hurt. So he does save the day and he does become a hero at the end, even though he's going to be somewhat of an arch hero. I mean, he's going to be blurring that line, kind of like Deadpool, of doing the right thing and also doing some wrong things. So I think that's going to be very interesting.
When I talk to you guys about, being a part of the podcast where you and Treadaway were going to talk about it, I then thought about it and then I thought, maybe I'm probably not the best person to be part of that podcast.
No, that's fine.
I loved episode 3. Like episode 3 was bonkers, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be so great!" And then I didn't like the rest of it. The rest of it was just like,
Oh, really?
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it didn't entertain me very much. Episode 3 at the end, I was like, "Whoa, man! Like this is really gonna go nuts, and it's gonna be awesome." And then after that, it was just kind of like, all right. I mean, I watched it.
Well, and the casual fan doesn't know much about the Captain America story. They don't know that Isaiah Bradley was Captain America for a long time. And they did a backstory about how the Captain was on ice and Isaiah Bradley was him. There were experiments done on him in the comic books, and that he, many people have actually become Captain America. And this is just one of those stories.
Sure.
I had read that, in different times that both Bucky and Sam held the shield and was Captain America for a while, but they all felt like they all fell short of what Steve Rogers was. So it was, I thought it was a good homage to Steve and a good tribute to him in a lot of ways, but also, hang on, I got a text from work. Oh, look, I got to be asleep soon. Yay.
I
love my job.
Well, I think you and Treadaway will have a lot more fun talking about that. And I just say that because, I don't know. I mean, I watch that kind of stuff because I really want to be entertained. And I just wasn't very entertained by the last couple of episodes. Episode 3, I was down with, very excited about. But after that, it was kind of, it was okay. It wasn't terrible, right? But I was just like,
Was episode 3 when he killed that guy with a shield?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was bad. Like, I was like, damn, right? And that's where you thought what was going to happen was he's going to turn into this really evil dude and they were going to have some really big battles. And that didn't happen. I guess maybe that's what I wanted. Maybe I didn't get it.
Well, I mean, to me, the big shocker was Agent Carter becoming the power broker. I mean, in the Marvel universe, the power broker was the one who created the Hulk. The general with all the sciencey stuff, he supposedly goes rogue and just starts injecting a bunch of people with his super serum, making them all soldiers and supposedly towing the line of you're going to work for me. And then it turns out to be her. You're like, oh, well, that's an interesting twist.
That was good. I did see that part. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
I expected it from her.
I watched a little bit of that. Some YouTube people, went really in depth and like discussed the fact that she was in the the Winter Soldier movie, where she came and saved the day and got the shield for them and got supplies they needed and sort of went against the people she was working for, not realizing that she was in shield, but also that Hydra had taken it over. And then they sort of disappeared her for a while. And it was like, hey, what happened to that character that was really awesome? Oh, now she's back. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Which
they always bring them back.
They always bring them back. Why waste any talent, right? I mean, if you can fold characters back into a storyline, that's what threads it all together like a big giant quilt. And you're like, oh, I can't wait till this character gets with this character. This is going to be really interesting. So I thought they did a good job. I did think that it got boring after the killing of the guy. Although seeing Sam in the full outfit with the stars and stripes and the wings, I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was I mean, I don't know. I mean, there was some cool stuff in it. It just, I don't know, like they really, and maybe it's just how they created the show, because I think if you watched every episode, like the pinnacle of it was the end of episode 3 when he killed that guy with a shield. Like that was the best it was going to be, in my opinion. That was
as far as action goes.
Yeah, and so I'm like, my thing is that I don't know. I mean, it's strange to me that you would do a show and like peak in episode 3, and then just whatever. So,
well, like one of the videos I
watched
watched said that they believed that this was typically going to be Captain America 4, the movie, but they were like, no, I mean, more people are streaming right now. Let's make this a show, because this is not really the movie arch is not really there, because you sort of have to have a challenge, a peak, and then you land the plane at the end with a big finish. And a lot of people would say that the big finish is Sam, coming in with the wings and fighting the people and getting into the helicopter and helping those out, and that was a lot of stuff. That was a lot of cool stuff. I mean, him trying to fight Kylie and not kill her. I mean, he didn't want to kill her. He knew why she was upset. He's like, there's just a better way to do this. I mean, he's trying to be the good guy the entire time, and just there was no saving her. I mean, she was just bound and determined. She was either going to die or she was going to kill everybody in the process. I mean, so
I really wanted, I hate to be like this, but I mean, I really wanted Captain to take her out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When she killed his good friend, right?
Right.
And so when she killed that dude, I don't know. I was thinking, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen at the end. Cap's gonna get her for killing that dude, right? So I don't know. That's what I thought was gonna happen. But
and I didn't expect her to get to that level. Like Treadaway and I talking about it, like episode 2 is when you first see her kill people with that car bomb, because up to then she hadn't killed anybody, and it was just like, we're retaliating and we're trying to get some supplies for people that need, and then she blew up the vehicle after they had already taken everything they needed from the people and they were tied up, and I was like, all right, now you crossed the line. Like, this is
and that is one thing. I mean, she went too far, right? She was lost. And I mean, that's the interesting. Who was that guy that they broke out of prison? What was that guy's name? The one that the Wakandans took eventually.
The Razzle Dazzle guy. Yeah.
I mean, I think that was interesting that the whole time he's sitting there just saying, hey, man, she's a lost cause. She's a lost cause, right?
Yeah.
He's the only one who could see it. But, she was a lost cause. It was interesting. And you thought, another thing that you thought might happen is that one time when she was, her and her people were together, and, she was just basically like, hey, man, if we kill a bunch of people, we kill them. If we die, we die. And you could tell all of her people were like, kind of like, eh. But then they all bought into it. Like, I thought her people were going to turn against her right there, too. And they didn't, right?
Well, this is just one more example of how somebody very charismatic can convince a lot of people into some really bad things.
Well,
I mean,
and a good example of how, a lot of the really bad things that go on, or just how a very small group of people can control an entire population, right?
Yeah.
And so that is real life for sure.
Well, and that was kind of Sam's discussion with those people that were voting on this GRC thing. Was he was like, you're voting on this thing that doesn't affect you. Like, you need to be part of this discussion. It's not an easy discussion, but you can't just displace people just because you feel like it. Like, there was a bigger story that had to happen because of Thanos. I mean, Thanos created a lot of change just by snapping his fingers. And we talked about how Thanos in a way is sort of a good guy in a way, but also a bad guy in a way.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
What he did affected half the life around, but it also he ultimately made things better for the right reason.
His reasoning was, he was very much an anti-hero, right?
Right. Like, I mean, it was a huge conflict of interests for everybody involved, including his own people. I mean, because if he snaps his finger, that also affects his people, but he still felt like it was the right move.
Well, and I think one thing that's really interesting is the idea of, okay, so you watch, the last Marvel movie there, where everything Thanos did is reversed. So doing something with the idea of, okay, guess what? Half the world's population just returned.
Yeah.
And what do you do with them, right? So that's a good. I mean, I think that's a good premise. I'm not sure that that was what I would have wanted for that, right? Like that. I don't know. I don't know. There were some good action parts in it, and maybe my problem is that I don't know. It's like, why do you watch stuff? Because my life is pretty busy and my life is pretty stressful, and all the things I got going on. And if I'm going to take some time and watch something, I really just want to be entertained, right?
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me too to watch stuff where there's like certain messages where it's just like that's everywhere in my life, and I'd like to just have some time and watch something and enjoy it, and
Something
not
silly.
have to, yeah, right, and not be inundated with some of that stuff.
So I have a
there's
recommendation.
lot of that stuff. Yeah.
I have a recommendation.
What's that?
Something silly that's gonna make you giggle uncontrollably because it makes no sense. I don't know why it's taking me this long to watch it. Rick and Morty.
Oh, I heard you talking about it. It's silly, huh?
Rick and Morty is disturbing and offensive and hilarious all at the same time. It's
right up our alley.
It's exactly up our alley. You're gonna watch it and be like, I can't believe this is real. I mean, I can't believe I slept on this because my wife does not like it. That's how much I enjoy it. Okay.
Sure. Well, listen. I'm going to say to you that anything that's right up our alley, our wives are going to hate. I mean, that's a given.
I'm sure Lane and Dolores would probably be sitting there watching us going, you're watching this and enjoying it? And we'd be laughing hysterically because it is so, it's funny, it's awkward, it's so wrong in so many ways, but also really, really interesting. And doesn't make any sense. I mean, a lot of it doesn't make any sense, but you're just like, all right, let's go with the story.
What's it stream on?
It's on HBO Max.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. Yeah.
So it's
I watched it.
I got that from a recommendation. I think my brother was the one that mentioned it, or maybe it was my buddy Danny.
I listened to your podcast when you talked about it.
Yeah.
But I watched the first episode of that new show on Netflix, the one God, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one with the kids and the magicians, and they have to go through this fold, and it's like a kind of steampunk kind of show. Do you know what I'm talking about? I mean, it just came out.
Oh, like this past weekend?
Yeah, it hadn't been out very long at all.
Shadow and Bone?
Yeah. So I watched the first episode of Shadow and Bone, and I kind of liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
I didn't dislike it at all. It was a pretty cool premise. I mean, I thought it was interesting. There's a lot going on. Like there's this fold or this rift, and there's people on both sides of the rift, and they're trying to get through the rift for certain reasons. And they introduce characters on both sides of the rift, and they both have their own goals and things going on. And it was in depth, but I thought it was fairly entertaining. I enjoyed the first episode. So
I'll have to check it out. I I was looking for something to watch the other night, but I was like, I don't want to watch this and get ready to go to bed because this is gonna it's either too stimulating or it's too long or it's too in depth.
It was dark. It was dark.
I'm okay with that. I don't want to watch that before I go to bed, so I may watch that on a weekend when I get up super early.
There's another show I saw that came on new on Netflix too called The Stowaway, and I haven't watched it. I might watch it.
That looks really good.
It does.
That looks intense. I wanted to watch it the other night, and I was like, I am not going to sleep if I watch this. I'm going to be wide awake going, holy crap, It looks like a holy crap kind of show.
You're like an engineer, right? You're working on this spaceship and something happens to you and you wake up and it's like on a 2-year mission to Mars and you're stuck. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, and we don't have enough supplies to make it.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, damn, that looks good. I'm going to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I think I'm going to. I think that looks interesting.
Yeah. And Andrew Kendricks is in it. So, what's not to like about that?
Cups.
Yeah. Talented, very talented lady.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you did see, the gold rose obsession that I have with Animal Crossing.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't understand. Like the only thing I don't understand about it is how you have room with the pumpkins. Did you get rid of pumpkins?
No.
I mean, where does anybody living on your island? Like, are they sleeping?
They're still in the same places. I haven't moved them. All of that land that I had up in the north side of the island, was all black roses. All the land that I'd cleared out on the east side of the island, I have black roses, and then there's gold roses all over the place, but they're just in clumps of 50 or 80 or whatever. I mean, they're all over the place. It's ridiculous the amount of gold roses there are. I mean, sometimes I like to run through them and just imagine that they're real, and I'm like,
feel like
because he runs like this, he's got his arms out, and I'm like, look at all the gold roses.
Bet you feel like Scrooge McDuck, right? Like diving into his coin.
I mean, it's sort of like the hills are alive with the smell of gold roses. One of those moments.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
that's really nuts.
It makes no sense at all. Like, so I put a thing on there, and someone wrote me and said, "How? What? Why?" And I said, I don't. I can't explain it. It doesn't make any sense.
You could take the comments from the post that you did about your pumpkins and just paste those on the comments. Put your gold roses.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mentioned to someone today, I was like, they were like, you could take those and make the gold rose wreaths.
Wreaths, right?
And they sell for twice as much. They're like, it only takes 10, you sell them, and they sell for 20
grand, right?
20 grand a piece. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't need the bells.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're like, what? And I was like, I got 67 million right now. And they're like, what? And I was like, I got a little obsessive with diving. You can make 1 million bells a day by diving. I mean, technically.
And 770 pumpkin
770,000 bells every 2 days by pumpkin farming. Not to mention the fact that if you craft materials, you get to make quite a bit of it if you do the right ones.
Yeah, it's an insanity.
So all of that started with me mocking you for doing it, and then
listen, it was one of the greatest turnarounds in the history of everything. I listened to one podcast. It's like, I just don't understand people who play video games. Like, that's so damn stupid. And then like 24 hours later, you're texting me going, "Hey, I got a Nintendo Switch." I'm like, what?
My mom told my mom told my first wife. She said, "Do you have any advice?" She says, "Yeah, he's predictably unpredictable." Which I guess was true back then. It became less predictable. I mean, I became less that as I got older, because I realized that what my kids needed the most was me to be as predictable as possible. Sure. They have a lot of unpredictability in life, and if I could be the consistency in their life, then that was important. I got told by my stepson one time, he said, "I got to tell you," he goes, "you're the most consistent thing in my life." And I was like, perfect. I did my job. Good. So the moment of going out and buying the Switch was old me going, let's just do it.
Yeah, that's right.
What's it gonna hurt? I'm sitting here with one eyeball. I gotta pass some time. At least it gave me a task to do, and it gave me something to challenge myself and learn about. And that was kind of the whole goal. As I told my wife, I said, I need something. I need something to fix. I need something to figure out, and this is manageable.
Well, I hope you get time. You will get time, but I want you to make some YouTube videos about those Sanrio cards, because I haven't opened mine yet either. And what I understand is that each of the cards allows you to get a character. Yeah, those. Each of the cards allows you to get a character, but then there's a ton of items that are associated with it, and you don't have to have the people move on your island to get the items, is what I understand. But I haven't figured it out yet. But, there you go.
I haven't had time to do it. I had them sitting in here, and every time I sit down here, I go, I gotta figure these out. And
yeah, you'll get there. But
yeah,
when you do YouTube videos on it, I'll watch, and then I'll figure it out. I'll let you do it. Just be honest with you. I'll let you do it.
I was telling Treadaway, we still have to paint our bedroom. We're going to paint it this weekend, and then we have to do this podcast room and the laundry room, and then we're done. If you could see this room right now, you'd be like, holy crap, look at all the stuff, because there's so much stuff over here.
Yeah, right.
Because we've been staging it, trying to get ready. But once I get everything painted, then I'll have more time to do this kind of stuff on the weekends, which is great. I did check out somebody's podcast that I highly recommend checking out.
Yeah.
It's called, what's it called? It's the movie one. Cinema Chop Shop.
Yeah.
They are local guys, and they basically take movies that are at least 10 years old, and they go around like a round table, and they try to recast it with different people. Like, who would you make the movie with now? And it's a really fun like game show idea. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, I listened to one, they talked about like time travel movies. Yeah. And they went around their favorites, what their least favorites, what's the one that nobody knows about. Okay, if you were going to do this movie, who would you do it with? And it was so much fun. It was so much improv. And I was like, I wrote the guy, and I was like, I want to be on the podcast. He was like, cool. He wrote me last night. He was like, I checked out your podcast. You'd be a perfect contestant. We're definitely going to hook up. And I was like, yes, we are.
Nice.
Yeah. So I highly recommend checking out Cinema Chop Shop.
I saw somebody's podcast. It was a group of guys who watched the same movie every day for like 284 days. And then every day after they watched it, they did a review of it. But they watched the same movie every day for 284 days. And I'm like, what kind of insanity is that? But there you go. I mean, but how at like day 283, what the hell are you still talking about?
I think that's hilarious.
It is hilarious. Yeah, it is hilarious.
And I'm a little bit jealous that I didn't think of it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, and how did you come up with like, let's watch it for 284 days?
And the question is, which movie do you decide on? I mean, because if you do something like Groundhog Day, where it repeats also, so it's sort of like
that would be
it's sort of like art inside of art.
Listen,
or you could go with the extreme and do like Pootie Tang, you know.
Well, the really bad thing is, unfortunately, it's I'm on stuff I heard now because I don't know. I can't maybe it was, but it was like it wasn't a good movie. Like whatever movie it was, I was like, that's a terrible movie. Like they didn't pick a good movie to watch that many times. It was something like Notting Hill or something like stupid, like just ridiculous.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's hilarious. Hey,
I mean,
go ahead.
If I'm honest, there are movies that I could actually do that with, and actually have watched that many times in a row on several days. Like when I was in the Marine Corps, I moved into the barracks, and I had one VHS tape, and I just watched it all the time because that's all I had. When I moved out to my first place, I had one VHS tape. I watched Empire Strikes Back over and over and over and over until it broke. When we moved into this house, we didn't have cable for like, I don't know, it must have been a couple of weeks. And the only DVD we could find was Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
So I put it in, and it would finish, and I would hit play again. And Lawrence goes, "Let me guess what's coming up next. Is it Finding Nemo?" How did you know?
Well, I could do that with Ghostbusters. I pretty much like Lane just hates when Ghostbusters come on because they pretty much can like speak it, right? Like I'm at the point where, I mean, I've just watched it so many times because I think it's just one of the best movies ever. It's so great.
We've joked about it before about doing a porn podcast, but my first dirty movie that I watched was labeled Ghostbusters, and someone had used that tape to record a dirty movie. And when I put it in, me and my cousins, Joey and Patrick, we were home alone, and we're like, let's watch Ghostbusters. We put it in, and all of us went,
oh, snap.
And none of us moved for 3 hours. about 45 minutes in, one of them goes, I need to go to the bathroom.
It's like you look at each other like, I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Right. I don't think that's Slimer.
Yeah. It's like I made my own Slimer.
So yeah.
So I was listening to another podcast lately that I think is kind of interesting, and I honestly don't find very many podcasts I really like, but there's one with Brett Favre on it. It's called Bowling with Favre.
Really?
Yeah, and the guy on it, the host, his name is Bowling, and he used to be on Fox News, and he used to be on whatever. And then Brett Favre is in it with him, and they talk about all kinds of different stuff. And then Brett Favre will get random celebrities to come in, and it's a good podcast. I like it.
What if I started a podcast called Drinking with Bert Kreischer? And every episode is me talking about what me and Bert Kreischer talk about if we went drinking. And then he like heard about it, and he was like, dude.
I 100% guarantee you that if you created that podcast, that at least one episode he would join you.
Did you see that? Yeah. Did you see that he's filming the Machine movie and Mark Hamill's going to play his dad?
I did see that.
I love the video of them going to the airport. Say it. I'm your father. He goes, get on the plane.
Well, think about it. Think about like you would do that podcast. And like your goal would be like the episode where he actually comes on is the last episode. Like that's it. After that, it's over.
Why would you do any more? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. And he would do it at some point. Like he'd be like, I'm gonna let him do about 150 episodes, and then I'm gonna jump on there. And I could
just see it being like one of those things where like, I'm 1,000 episodes in, and he's like, okay, I'll show up. Right. Where are we going? Florence?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's like,
can't we just zoom it?
He probably would do it. I mean, at one point, I mean, you're right. He'd probably torture you. He'd actually say on his podcast, he'd talk about your podcast. He'd be like, I'm going to go on at one time, but I'm going to keep torturing him and making him do episodes. It'd be really good.
Listen, I thought about us. Him and Tom Segura do this podcast called Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah,
and they did a bunch of them before Bert went to go film this movie. So they're putting them out still once a week. Every Monday they come out. The episode this past week, it was Tom's birthday, and Bert wanted to give him something really special for his birthday. They started this like maybe a couple of years ago. Well, it was last year. They talked about how gay guys probably buy each other the best gifts because they're just going to buy something they want. And one of them looked at the other one like, we're kind of like gay guys. Like, I love you more than my wife. You know, what would I want you to have? It'd be something I want, right? So they talked about it, and they're like, you know, of course, if you buy me something, I'm going to have to up my game and buy you something better next year. So Tom had bought Bert something. I forget what it was, but it was like $4,000 for whatever it was. And he was like, holy crap, I can't believe you bought me this. Yeah. So this year it was Tom's birthday, and the episode came out this past week, and Bert bought Tom a Sea-Doo watercraft that was like $14,000.
Dang, man.
He's like, I want you to see your gift. He goes, play the video. And it's the video of the thing. Tom's getting ready to move to Austin, Texas, and he's got 2 boys. And he goes, you and your boys are going to love this. He says, it's already at your house at the lake. When you get there, it is there for you to ride. He goes, holy shit, I can't believe you bought me this. And of course, they're laughing hysterically about it. And you know, Bert says, "Yeah, Leanne was really pissed off that I spent $14,000 on you." She's like, "You would never spend $14,000 on me." He goes, "Honestly, I don't love you like I love him."
Oh God, yeah.
And then of course Tom is giggling at himself because he realizes, he goes, "You know that next year for your birthday, you're getting a gift that's like $40,000."
I know.
He goes, "I know."
Like, they keep doing that. Like, they're going to be buying each other like Bentleys and shit, and eventually be like private jets.
So wow. he knows that Bert wants a motorcycle, but Leanne's already said no. He goes, so how pissed off would Leanne be if you had a motorcycle?
Yeah, pretty pissed. Pretty pissed.
So I was like, you know what? If you're at that level of success and you could do that, how much fun would that be?
So I don't listen to a whole lot of Bert episodes like you do.
Yeah.
But I listened to the Jeremy Piven episode, and I really liked it. I like Jeremy Piven, man. I think he's pretty funny, right?
He's very interesting. I loved him on Entourage. I thought he was hilarious as Ari.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, he's great in everything he's on.
Yeah.
He was interesting to listen to. I enjoyed listening to him. He was funny. He was a funny guy.
I started watching it the other night, and I was getting really sleepy, and I was like, I got to finish this later. And I had to pause it. And I was like, I can't finish it right now. Yeah. I got to watch the rest of it. I think I'm about 40 minutes in.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So real quick, because I know you got to go to bed, and I'm going to go to bed pretty quick.
Yeah.
But you listened to my last podcast, right?
I did. Actually, I invested in Roth IRA for the first time.
Oh, good for you.
Because I was like, oh, I have this money in my 401k. Why aren't I putting into the Roth? And I was like,
the Roth is a great thing to do because of the fact that, like Treadaway says, it diversifies you so that you have taxable income coming out of your 401k, but then you have non-taxable income coming out of the Roth, right? Mm-hmm. I'm using my Roth to buy weird stuff, but that's me. Let me change that. I'm using my Roth to buy hedge stuff. So basically what I'm trying to do is, like, I have pretty much all your 401k is just in mutual funds and it's in stocks. And so in my Roth IRA, I'm trying to buy things that hedge that, like precious metals hedge that, cryptocurrency hedges that, things like that. And so I'm trying to create some balance in it. Because if I have my 401k and I just bought more stocks, I already got a bunch of that. And so if stocks go down, this other stuff goes up because they're hedges to one another, right? But anyway, that's whatever it is.
You think we could make pumpkin farming an NFT?
Listen, you 100% could make pumpkin farming an NFT. Like, there's 0% chance that you can't.
I just opened up Google today, and it said that Kurt Cobain's last photo shoot with the band, apparently the photos have never been released, and they've decided to sell them as NFTs.
There you go.
And I was like, that's kind of cool. That's pretty baller.
Yeah, I have I want to call and talk to you one time because I kind of have an interesting idea about NFTs. I don't want to say it on here, but I do want to talk to you about it.
I mean, I've already blown my load with G Money, so you need to buy that as soon as we get off here.
Yeah, that's right.
Because people are going to be like, "That's a great idea," and then suddenly it's like, in today's news, G Money just took over Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
No one cares about G Money but us. Hey,
they will once I get on the promotion wagon.
There you go. Well, so the other thing I talked about on my podcast was BlockFi. Did you hear me talking about BlockFi?
Yeah.
All right. So BlockFi is kind of like a crypto, but it's a bank, and it's above board, and the government knows about it, and like you earn interest, and you get a 1099, and it's taxable interest. So it's not some black site or whatever, right? But it pays 8.6% interest. For real, pays 8.6% interest. Like your bank right now is paying 0.2% interest. That's what the interest rate currently is. So if you have cash anywhere and you put it into BlockFi, you make it 8.6%. I've only had money in it for 19 days, and I've made more than I made all of last year out of all the cash I had in any bank. It's nuts.
My I don't know what I should say on here. We'll talk about it off air. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But if anybody's interested in BlockFi, let me know, because it's not, there's nothing illegal about it. It's not some dark website. It's not it's cryptocurrency, so there's some risk involved. But
or if you want to invest in stuff, I heard we could have your sponsorship, like right here.
Oh, that's nice. It's like we'll make a picture of you, put Rodney's outfit on you with a crown. Perfect.
I don't know if it fit. I don't think it's a one size fit all.
No, man, you're just like taking the picture and you're pasting someone else's face into it. It doesn't
maybe
have to fit.
Maybe a cutout, so I put my face in there.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like this.
Yeah. Rodney.
Oh, jeez.
I wish Rodney would listen to the podcast and see how much we actually talk about him.
I would love for him to be on. I would love to get his perspective on a lot of things,
Man, he'd just be on here and he'd be like, I came on just to tell you I hate white people. Then he'd probably hang up and that would be
right.
Be over. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's not doing stand-up is very sad, because he's got a lot of really dry sense of humor jokes that would just nail.
That reminds me. I'm sorry, that reminds me, but I had an idea for a podcast that I wanted to share with you real quick.
Okay.
I thought about, like, what if you made, like, the most, like, you remember that comedian, and I don't remember what his name was, but he was a comedian, and he just stood up there and he talked in the most droll voice.
Stephen Wright.
Yeah, Stephen Wright. I was like, what if you just made a podcast and you called it, like, the most boring podcast ever? And you just came on and you just talked in the most monotone voice possible for as long as possible. And you wonder if people listen to it to try to go to sleep or something.
Well, I mean, there is that ASMR thing where people just really like sounds like stuff like that. Right. Maybe people will turn it on and be like, oh, this is it. This is my jam.
I mean, like, literally, you could get, like, a newspaper and just read it in, like, the most droll voice ever, like, the most boring thing. And your whole shtick of the podcast would just be like, yeah, it's boring. It's supposed to be boring. Like, I don't understand why you're listening to it.
The most boring podcast. I love it. But, do a pun, so it's like the most boring podcast with, like, 3 exclamation points at the end.
Yeah, right.
So that, you're
a little bit of zing.
What the heck is this? And you click on it, and it's like, hello. And welcome to the most boring podcast.
Yes, it would be like that. It'd
I am
be like
your host, Joshua Peak, and today we're going to discuss
exactly like that. It would be just like those two.
People are like, "Have you heard this thing? This thing is stupid."
It'd be just like those 2 women on Saturday Night Live that used to do that thing. That's the delicious dish or whatever.
The sweaty balls. I love the sweaty balls.
I mean, I think that would be an amazing podcast if you're just like the most boring ever. Like,
that's funny.
Slow. And I don't know why I'm in the shower this morning, and that's the shit I come up with in the shower. That's it. That's like
so my idea of drinking with Bert came this afternoon when I was in the shower, because I was like, what if I did that? Because that might be meta enough to actually work.
I think you could do it where you listen to Bert's episode that day, and then you drank with Bert where you talked about everything from the episode that day, right?
Oh, that'd be cool. I wish I had more time now, because now I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Now I'm working too much.
Yeah, think about that. That would really make him excited.
That would really make my wife crazy.
Yes, it would.
She would be like, she'd have like pictures of Bert with like red X's across his face. She's like, ah!
I was trying to think.
I got her to watch Ball Hog the other night with Tom Segura.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
She loved it.
Yeah, my wife was like, I'm not watching this anymore, and she walked out. It was the part about grandma. When we got into grandma, she was done. That was it. Yeah.
When they got to the 9 is a lot, she was like, she goes, "This is better than Bert's." I was like, I know. This was a better special this year. It was really good.
Yeah. That's good. I couldn't get Lane to watch that one.
Of course, I love the part where she also goes, "Who's Wu-Tang?" I'm like,
it was the grandma stuff that got her. That was he said too far, and she's like, yes.
The funny part was he talks about his mom getting his mom on camera where she farts for like a solid 30 seconds.
Really?
And she's just a little Peruvian woman, but she's in the kitchen and she just it just keeps going and going. You're like, where is it still coming from? Like it's one of those kind of things. And she turns around and she sees him. He's filming her and he starts giggling and she's like, "We go filming me?" And he's like, "Yeah, this was great." She's like, "Do not show that." Like she's so mad. And he talks about it. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, I think, like 2 weeks ago, and Joe asked him. He said, "That video of you filming your mom farting that long, did you have to get her permission for that?" And he goes, "Of course." And he goes, "Did it cost you anything?" He goes, "Yes." He said, "I had to convince her to let me put it on the air because I didn't want to do it with like her being angry." He said, "So I was like, Mom, let me put it on. It'll be funny." No, it's disgusting. He's like, "Come on, Mom, let me put it on." No. He's like, What would it take?" And she goes, "I want a trip to Las Vegas." And he goes, "Okay. So like you just want to go to Las Vegas for a week?" He goes, "Okay. I want to stay at the Bellagio." He goes, "Okay. I want to fly first class." He's like, "Come on, Mom." She's like, "First class." And he's like, "Okay. And I need luggage." He goes, "All in all, it's like $8,000. He said, but she was so happy. She's walking around with new luggage and she's going shopping in Vegas. And he's like, "Who cares? Whatever. It's just,
Yeah.
But
it's worth it.
He's like he's got a compilation of her videos and it all cost him money because he's like, "Come on, Mom, let me show it."
Oh God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to show your mom stuff and she
I'll have to like get that clip and just send you that one clip.
That's amazing.
You're gonna be like, "That's hilarious."
All right,
anyway,
buddy.
I'm gonna get off here.
Wrap it up,
Thank you for doing this. Take care. Love you bunches, and we'll do this another time. Everybody out there, if you're still listening, check out Greg's podcast, 5 and 40. He does one about every 6 months or so.
Come on, man. I do one. I do some for a little while, and then I take a break.
He might have 3 episodes, 15s, but don't worry about that. He doesn't count well, so it's all good. He's better with medicine than he is with counting. So
the point is I want it to be a challenge. Like if you listen to episode 14, you might miss episode 14,
listen,
number 2.
It's mysterious.
But that's your problem. Yeah, that's great. My podcast is super mysterious. I'm going to start numbering them like 15A, and then I'm going to put out 24X, right? Just for random, whatever. Figure it out.
Yeah. I like the fact that it doesn't make sense. I like the fact that you're as smart as you are, and it still is so messed up.
Hey, listen, podcasting is a different world, man.
You don't know how much joy that brings me. I laughed so hard when I saw it. I was like, "This is great."
Well, I'll do it again for you. We'll have 2 episodes, 23s. Don't worry. We'll have more double episodes, right?
Just skip ahead to like 27 and then go back and do like number 12.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
12 again. Just call it 12 again.
Yeah. Like this is episode WTF. Enjoy. Right? Like, yeah. No, it's
That's
mysterious.
great.
That's right. That 5 and 40 mysterious podcast numbered totally incorrectly.
It makes me so happy.
my podcast is sponsored by The Count. Just so you know.
15. 15 again.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of every time they talk about The Count, it reminds me of that one episode of Psych. Did you ever watch that show, Psych?
No.
Oh my God, there's one episode where the guy Dooley Hill, he was in The West Wing or whatever. He's the sidekick in the show, and they have an episode like they're psychic detectives, and they have this, and it's a silly show, but they have this episode where someone's like stealing blood, and it's like pretending to be a vampire. So they go to this vampire club, and they dress Dooley Hill up in this purple vampire outfit, and they go to the bar and they're asking the bartender, "Hey, have you seen this guy?" And he's like, "No, I ain't seen him, Count Chocula." It's one of the most amazing moments in TV, and it's so unreal. You should YouTube it.
That's great.
Oh God,
Count
yeah,
Chocula.
it's unbelievable.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here.
All right, buddy.
Check out the podcast. If you like this, rate, review, subscribe. If you want to be a guest, let me know. And give us ideas on topics you want to talk about. Go check out Cinema Chop Shop as well. Really good content. I'm going to be on it soon. So fun stuff.
Sweet.
Thanks.
See you, buddy.
Cue the cow.